They tried to fine me $5,000 for stacking firewood, on my own land, behind a privacy fence, for emergency heating. That's when I realized the HOA wasn't just overreaching, they were hunting. I moved into Ashridge Estates 3 winters ago, drawn by the promise of nature, quiet, and a sturdy 2-acre lot on the edge of the woods. I'm a contractor by trade, grew up on a ranch in Wyoming, so I know how to build, repair, and, yeah, heat my home if the grid fails. Which it did, the first winter. Ice storm knocked out power for 4 days. But not for me, because I had seasoned oak split, stacked, and tarped. The first red flag? A manila envelope on my porch. No stamp. Just a typed note. Wood storage in violation. Remove immediately or face fines. No signature. Just the HOA letterhead and a highlighted clause from the CCRs. Except, my lot was zoned rural residential. That clause didn't even apply. I knew it. They knew it. But they didn't care. Next week, I get a notice of non-compliance, with a $250 fine. I emailed back with documentation, county permit, zoning exemption, photos proving it was on my property, not visible from the street. They doubled the fine. Then they called a compliance hearing at the clubhouse. I showed up with printouts, municipal code, even a statement from the county inspector. They refused to let me speak. That woodpile is a visual hazard, Marla Witherspoon, the HOA chair, snapped. It's behind my shed, I said. No one can see it unless they trespass. She blinked. We've received multiple complaints. From who? I asked. That's confidential. A week later, I noticed my mailbox was open, flag up, mail gone. Then came the Facebook posts. Some people think they're above the rules. Do we want fires and vermin next to our homes? Someone posted a blurry photo of my yard from a high angle. My place had been droned. Knowledge nugget number 1, HOAs are not allowed to surveil private property without probable cause or explicit bylaws permitting aerial observation. Check your CCRs. Most don't allow drones. By March, I was getting anonymous complaints weekly. My work van violated aesthetic standards. My dog was a noise nuisance. One letter accused me of hoarding combustibles. I started asking questions. Quiet ones. At the HOA meetings, at the mailbox, at the diner where the board members always lunched. That's when I met Terry. Terry was in her 60s. Garden club president. She pulled me aside one evening and said, "You're not the first. They tried to fine me for composting." She whispered something else. They're setting people up to sell. To their developer friend. I dug deeper. Turns out, a man named Gareth Locke had been buying up lots. Cheap ones, encumbered by violations and liens. He'd flip them into high-rent Airbnbs or demo them for dual units. Guess who he played poker with every Friday? Marla, HOA president. And 2 other board members. They weren't enforcing rules, they were weaponizing them. I requested the HOA financials. By law, they have to provide them to members within 30 days. They stalled. Said they were under audit. I filed a formal complaint with the state HOA Oversight Board. Next week, a sheriff's cruiser idled outside my house for 15 minutes. No knock. Just presence. So I took it federal. I filed a FOIA request for any zoning or land use applications submitted by Gareth Locke's company in the last 18 months. You know what I found? 3 rezoning proposals, all targeting HOA members who'd recently moved out under duress. All rubber-stamped by a friendly county planner, whose campaign Marla had donated to. Knowledge nugget number 2, federal and state laws require disclosure of any conflict of interest in zoning approvals. If an HOA board member financially benefits from land sales or rezoning, it's grounds for removal, and potential prosecution. That's when I lawyered up. Camera with flash screenshot this clause and tag a friend who needs HOA armor. Section 720.303(5), Florida statutes, any member has the right to inspect official records of the HOA at reasonable times. I started a paper trail. Certified mail, timestamps, recorded calls. I joined the next HOA meeting via Zoom, shared my screen, and walked the entire board through the county GIS database showing lots acquisitions. Care to explain why a man with no address in our neighborhood owns 6 lots and owes 0 dues? I asked. The silence was deafening. Terry and 2 others resigned that week. But Marla didn't budge. Instead, she hit me with a civil complaint for creating a hostile environment and deliberately undermining governance. That's when the local news caught wind. I emailed every reporter in a 30-mile radius. One took the bait. And when they showed up with cameras, I walked them straight to my woodpile, neatly stacked, fully permitted, and absolutely legal. That segment went viral. 2 days later, I got a call. From a whistleblower. Anonymous number. Young man's voice. I did landscaping work for Gareth. I saw the blueprints. He's planning a gated extension through your back lot. Your trees are in the way. It all made sense. This wasn't about wood. Or dogs. Or noise. It was about access. They needed my land clear for a utility easement they'd failed to negotiate. So they tried to scare me off. Find me out. Humiliate me into selling. Too bad I'm not the type. I filed a restraining order against Marla for harassment. She violated it by emailing my employer, so we filed a second one. Then I went to the state attorney general's office and submitted everything: drone photos, donation records, the secret rezoning maps. 2 weeks later, they froze the HOA's operating account. Board elections were postponed. State oversight took control pending investigation. Marla was subpoenaed. Knowledge nugget number 3, HOA boards can be placed under state supervision if evidence of fraud, embezzlement, or systemic abuse emerges. In some states, this includes forced resignation of all board members. Marla's face on the courthouse steps was the last time I ever saw her in public. She pled down to negligent oversight. Gareth Locke fled the county. The new board, formed by special election, revoked all outstanding fines and rewrote the community charter to protect small-scale land use. Terry now leads the ethics committee. And my woodpile? Still standing. Still stacked. Still saving me $400 a month in heating costs. But just last week, I found something under one of the tarps. A laminated envelope. No return address. Inside, a photocopy of my original land deed, with a section highlighted. Right-of-way reserved for future development. That line wasn't on the copy I filed. Someone tried to bury it. Next week, the city that tried to steal a solar farm, by declaring the sun a public utility,